Yo, it's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor.
It takes guts. I really admire you.
He might spend the rest of his life resenting you.
You will never be enough.
Today we're going to be going over the top 10 advanced English expressions that are found in the trailer for Crazy Rich Asians. We'll also touch on a few advanced English words as well. Let's test your knowledge. We will be using FluentU to go over the expressions used in the Crazy Rich Asians movie trailer. If you want to follow along for a more in-depth lesson, be sure to download FluentU in the description below for 2 weeks absolutely free. Number 10, stood up to.
Yo, it's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor.
Here we have the expression stood up to. This is one of my favorite expressions that I'm teaching you today. My other favorite is number 1 on this list. The reason I like stood up to is because it means to object to or to interfere with the actions of someone seen as bullying, pushy, or controlling. That's why in Crazy Rich Asians, Ollie says,
Yo, it's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor.
In Crazy Rich Asians, Aunt Eleanor is the villain that Rachel is going to stand up to. She is going to interfere with her and her plans. Number 9 is fell in love.
I met a girl, I fell in love, and I want to marry her.
This is a phrase that I am sure you've heard at least once before, especially if you're into cute romantic movies like I am. They're the best. FluentU shows us that fell in love means to develop strong attraction or desire towards someone. It's the past tense of fall in love. This is that beautiful feeling when we find ourselves liking someone so much that we fall in love with them. We become in love with them. It's the process of getting there. You can also use it to describe falling in love with something. Maybe you fall in love with running, or you fall in love with watching movies or a specific movie. Let's look at a few more video examples.
We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was.
When I first visited Buenos Aires, I immediately fell in love.
My life, I fell in love with Instagram. Now I do that as my job.
Number 8, all the way.
I really admire you. It takes guts. Coming all the way over here, facing Nick's family.
Here we have our third expression, all the way. This means the whole way, the entire distance. You can use this to emphasize how far the distance is from where you started to where you're going. It's emphasizing that length, all the way over there. In Crazy Rich Asians, they are emphasizing that she went all the way to Singapore, that entire distance, emphasizing how far Singapore was from where she started in New York. Advanced word time!
You're Nicholas Young, you're untouchable. But Rachel's not.
Here we have the word untouchable, which means being beyond the reach of criticism, impeachment, or attack. Usually someone who is very rich or has a lot of power is considered untouchable. This is why in Crazy Rich Asians, Nick Young is being described as untouchable. His family has so much money that no one can really criticize or attack him. Rachel, however, is not untouchable. Number 7, the rest of.
If Nick chose me, he would lose his family. And if he chose his family, he might spend the rest of his life resenting you.
The rest of is an expression meaning the remaining or leftover portion of something. In Crazy Rich Asians, it's being used to talk about the rest of Nick's life, the remaining part of his whole life. Here are a few more examples to help you understand how this is used in real life English because it's actually used a lot.
Have no particularly different set of character traits than the rest of us.
Then blue, brown, and the rest of what English refers to as the spectrum.
Then you are just going to repeat this process on all of the rest of the treats.
Number 6, ever since I can remember.
Ever since I can remember, my family has been my whole life.
This phrase is a bit long, so I'm going to break it down a bit for you. Ever since is an adverb meaning continuously from a specified time or event. And remember means to recall information. Put it together, and ever since I remember means continuously since you were able to recall information. Nick Young is saying that his family has been his whole life. Like ever since he was young, since he could remember, he's always thought of his family this way. Coming in at number 5, we have never be enough.
I know this much. You will never be enough.
This is a really harsh thing to say, whether you say it to yourself or especially if you say it to somebody else. Never means at no time, and enough means sufficient or adequate for the situation. What Eleanor is saying to Rachel in Crazy Rich Asians is that Rachel will at no time be sufficient or adequate to marry Nick Young because of all that comes along with it. She'll never be enough for that. Yeah, it's pretty mean to say, as you can probably tell. Number 4 is takes guts.
I really admire you. It takes guts coming all the way over here, facing Nick's family.
Take in this context means to require, to need, and guts means courage or nerve. The word guts literally means the intestine, the stomach, or belly. So keep that in mind when you encounter this word in different contexts. But when you're saying it in this context, as in it takes guts to do something, it means that courage is required for something to be accomplished. It takes guts to tell someone that you like them. It takes a lot of courage. You can also say that it takes guts to go for your dream. Anything that requires courage or nerve takes guts. Number 3 is about time.
Yo, it's about time someone stood up to Auntie Eleanor. Well, you, not me. Oh God. She can't know I was ever here.
Yes, there is a movie called About Time, but we're not talking about that today. About time is an adverb that means far past the desired or appropriate time. In Crazy Rich Asians, it's being applied that it's way past time that someone should have stood up to Aunt Eleanor. It should have happened a long time ago. So it's about time that it happened now. Let's look at a few more examples of how it's used in real life. Let's say that you're meeting up with a group of friends and one of your friends shows up 30 minutes late. You can say, it's about time you showed up, to jokingly tell that friend that, you know, they should have been there ages ago. You can also say something like, it's about time you two got into a relationship, to two of your friends who got into a relationship when you think it should have happened a long time ago. Advanced word time, part 2.
I really admire you. It takes guts coming all the way over here, facing Nick's family.
Here we have the word admire, which means to have a high opinion of, to respect. So it's usually a pretty good compliment if someone says that they admire you. It's usually based on one's actions, what somebody does that's admirable. In Crazy Rich Asians, the word admire is being used because Rachel came all the way to Singapore to face Nick's family. Those are admirable actions. Quick tip. Notice how the American English pronunciation of admire changes when you say admirable. Who do you admire? And why do you admire them? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let us know that you liked it. Number 2 is born for this. Granted, this expression isn't really used in Crazy Rich Asians, but it's in the song in this trailer, and I really like this expression, so that's why we're going over it today. Born for this is very empowering. When you say that you're born for this, it means that you were made for a certain purpose. Was born means to be brought into life by birth. For is the purpose or reason, and this is used to indicate a person, place, or thing as present, near, just indicated, or mentioned. If someone is born for something, it means that they were made for it. Like maybe your friend is really good at singing, like they're really talented. You can tell them you were born for this to emphasize how good they are at that skill. And now, our number 1 advanced English expression in Crazy Rich Asians is face the wolves.
Have you prepped Rachel to face the wolves?
You know
I really like this expression. There's a reason that it came in number 1. So let's break it down and talk about what it really means. First, face isn't talking about an actual human face like this. Nope, that's not what it's talking about in this context. It means to confront or accept. Like you need to face reality or you have to face your fears. Now, a wolf is a wild dog.
Wolves!
Stop!
Whoa! Whoa!
But when you put all of this together and say face the wolves, you're saying to confront a villain or something difficult. To face something that's challenging. Face the wolves. Face something challenging. Like that. Not many foreigners know this expression, so be sure to use it to show off your English skills. If you want to review all of the expressions in this video, be sure to download the free PDF in the description below. It has all the expressions that I went over and more. And if you want to learn how to understand comedy in English, since it does present itself a lot in Crazy Rich Asians, be sure to press on this video right over there. My friend Fallon does a great job at using Ellen DeGeneres to teach a lot of terms that are used in English comedy. So go check it out.